Sorry. It was a morning in November 2011. The cold wind slowly brushed against my face as I woke up. I sat up and swung my neck from side to side in an attempt to crack my lifeless bones. I swore I heard my adoptive mother's voice, yet I couldn't hear what she said, but it sure woke me up. I made my way out of my bedroom, heading to the kitchen, where I assumed she'd be, like every other morning. In the kitchen, my adoptive mother was doing the dishes. Nothing out of the ordinary, but things were odd. I couldn't describe it. Something just didn't look right. The kitchen looked so lifeless. The once bright yellow cabinets looked pale and almost gray. The cliché checkered vinyl floor looked gray and bland. Even my adoptive mother's red apron that she always wore looked a dull pink. I shook my head and rubbed my eyes. I should have got more sleep last night, I said to myself. My adoptive mother turned around, with a wide smile on her face, most likely acknowledging my presence. But this was strange. Usually, when I come downstairs in the morning, be it a weekend or a weekday, my mother was always agitated with me and basically tried her best to ignore me. But seeing her this happy with me was odd. After observing the contents of my breakfast, I decided I wasn't hungry, so I went up to my room and got dressed. I felt heavy and drowsy. What happened last night? I asked myself. Now I'm worried. I can't seem to remember anything before waking up. I try hard to regain my memory, but I just brush it off and open my wardrobe to find an outfit. I pull out a red shirt, a pair of red wrestling shorts, and a red bandana. A typical outfit that I always wore. "I'm off to school, Mom!" I shouted. No reply. That's odd. My adoptive mother didn't give me her usual lecture about staying out of trouble. I headed for the front door. As I was walking down the street, I spotted my friend. "Hey girl, how's it going?" My friend ignored me. "Hey, what's wrong?" I asked her. She kept ignoring me. I tapped her on her shoulder, but she swatted her arm, as you would if a foreign object came in contact with it. "What's your problem?" I asked, frustrated at today's events. She kept walking, and I was left alone, standing on the sidewalk, wondering what was happening. I decided to go back home. It was too much to handle, and I was way too tired to bother coming up with a logical explanation for all of it. She was probably just upset at me. I didn't know why, though. Upon entering my home, I heard laughter. It was my adoptive mother. I find her in the kitchen, alone in the same spot where I'd seen her at breakfast. I approached her near the sink. What I see takes the color right out of my face. The sink was full of blood. My adoptive mother was holding a meat cleaver in her hand. She started mumbling at me. "I'm sorry," she says to me, with the same grin on her face. You looked so sweet while you were sleeping in your bed. I never saw you so content before. I didn't want you to wake up." I shivered. Blood was covering her arms and dripping into the sink. "Are you okay? What have you done to yourself?" I asked. It didn't take me long to realize that the blood wasn't hers. I ran from my room and told myself, I must still be sleeping. Of course, there's no other explanation. This all must be a really tripped out dream. I entered my room and I saw myself in bed, sleeping, but perfectly still. But my bed sheets were drenched with red stains. I then reached out and put my hand on my shoulder. My skin was cold and stiff, unnaturally stiff. I then rolled myself over. My body turned and fell on the floor, but my head stayed still. Still.